If we really want to excel and we want to be the best that we can possibly be, we're never out of training. We are always in training.
So Nation Restaurant News recently put out their 100 under 100 list of 100 emerging chains with less than 100 units. And one of the restaurants featured on this list, in fact, featured on the cover, was Piada Italian Street Food. And one of the key roles that Piada has recently filled is their head of training or head of learning and development. And his name is Corban Nichols. Now, Corban I'll just let Corban tell you.
I've been in the restaurant industry since I was 14 years old. I've worked for brands such as Cheesecake Factory, California Pizza Kitchen, some mom and pop establishments. But really where the meat of my restaurant professional career came was when I joined Chipotle Mexican Grill back in 2012. It really propelled my career forward, and I really found a passion for training in general and being able to help people achieve things that they never thought were possible before.
Corban has a true passion for seeing people develop and grow within an organization. He also shared with me his 4 principles he's developed around being in training that has really shaped the way that he is leading training and development at Piada. Spoiler alert, all 4 of the principles start with in. But first, I had to ask the pressing question. What even is a Piada?
Hand-rolled piada is our namesake, which is an Italian dough that's cooked on a hot stone, wrapped with fresh ingredients inside. Nobody's doing what we're doing, and we're inspired from a visit our CEO had out to Rimini, Italy, where he had these piadinas, which were being served on the street with fresh ingredients, a dough cooked on a hot stone, and he just had that moment of revelation. We should have this in the States.
Well, that was clearly a great idea. Okay, let's talk training.
The people that are successful are the ones that really embrace this concept of that we're always in training. If you think about the greatest athletes of all time, they're doing that exact same thing every single day with hardly any breaks, over and over and over again. What are those key pieces that go into a successful, sustainable training culture?
I don't know. Are you going to tell me?
I'll break them down for you.
Oh, great.
Are you ready? Are you in for the 4 pieces of being in training?
Yes, I'm so in. Okay, let's hear it. 4 ins of being in training.
The first thing you have to do is create an inclusive culture inside of your restaurant. What I mean by inclusive is that every single person on the team, no matter what their position or tenure is as invested in the success of the others around them as they are their own success. You cannot build a successful training culture if one person is supermanning it all. You can't do it.
Okay, in training principle number 1, inclusive. In training principle number 2,
it has to be instructive. And what I mean by instructive is the fact that it has to take the same tone.
Okay, taking the same tone, which means that through all of the training, whether it's digital, whether it's in person, whether it's shoulder to shoulder or through a job aid, all of that training takes on the same framework or same methodology in the training. And of course, having a reliable framework or methodology creates consistency and efficiency.
The learner being efficient matters so much because it means that you're able to cut down the amount of time that training takes. One of the biggest issues in operations is training takes forever. For my belief in what we've done here at Piada is every piece of training that we have takes the approach of we are going to follow a 5-step training process. We're going to introduce the trainee to the task first and foremost, whether that's e-learning, whether it's shoulder to shoulder, whether it's a job aid, no matter what it is, we are going to introduce them to the task. Then we are going to shadow them with the task. If you think of your shadow is doing the same thing as you. I mean, when we teach people how to cut produce, we have 2 cut boards set up across from one another. They are both the trainer and the trainee doing the task at the exact same time in almost a mirror reflection. So introduce, shadow, then we let them perform the task. That's when we're watching them. That's when we're observing. But we're staying active. We're giving regular feedback through that. So we follow the introduce, shadow, perform, certify. But most places, that's where training ends, right? You certify somebody and you're done. But our role as leaders in the organization, the certification is really just the first point of being able to do the task. We have to take the ownership of continually validating. So that's the instructive methodology.
Inclusive, instructive, in training principle number 3.
Now we need to be innovative. We cannot just sit back and use the same tools that we've used for years. Most organizations get into this mentality where they're afraid to push the envelope or afraid to adopt new technology until it's vetted or proved out. And innovative can be anything from the methodologies that we use when it comes to an LMS, or if it's a way that we frame hospitality training, similar to what I partnered with your team in Training Simplified on recently, right? We innovated a new way to do hospitality training for the industry. It's all about us being able to push the envelope and scale and grow what it is that we're doing.
And lastly, when you've built a training culture that is inclusive and instructive and innovative, it leads to...
Here's the fun part. When you have those 3 items, you get the 4th one, and that's an inspiring culture. That's when everybody on the team truly is rowing in the same direction. They're working together in the way that they need to work. You can feel an inspiring culture the moment you walk into an organization. To be sustainable, you have to create that inside of your restaurant, where people are inspired by the vision of what it is that we're doing. They're inspired by the mission that we're set out to accomplish. They know why we're here and what we're doing. When you have those 3 pieces and the team truly knows that they're cared about, that's an inspiring culture. And really, the inspiring culture is what creates the sustainability. That's what keeps the flywheel moving so that you can continue to promote up and promote out. That's truly what helped make, in my past life, the growth attainable and so successful, was because those pieces existed.
Well, thanks again to Corban, and it really is inspiring to see how he's taking his philosophy on training and also the experiences that he's had of being grown within a brand and passing that on to really the next generation and spreading positivity and growth wherever he goes. So thank you to Corban. And if there's a Piada near you, check it out. And if there's not one, maybe there will be very soon.